F1 was. No. I don't think so. Okay, Fati, you can go to your seat though. Your seat's back there, remember? Thanks. F1, F2 was 1 page, and F3 was 1 page. F4 will also be 1 page. Alright. That's what we're doing right now. We're doing F4. What are you talking about? Alright, we're doing F4 here. We are going to be multiplying polynomials using the distributive property. Thanks. Alright, take out your notes. Thanks, Mubarak. Abdiziz, take out your notes, please. Ramo. Thanks. Tyler, computer away. Alright, as we work, I'm going to be using 2 highlighters. I'm just going to use yellow and pink because that's what shows up on the camera really well. If you want to use 2 other highlighters, you can. Alright, I'm going to use pink and yellow as I go. If you'd like to use 2 colors, you could use colored pencils, or you can use 2 other color highlighters. You do not need to use pink and yellow if you don't want to. Your choice. Alright, so first off, let's talk about that distributive property. Alright, if I have A times B plus C. First off, let's classify those polynomials. Is A a monomial, binomial, or trinomial? Just the A. It's just a one thing. It's a monomial. But then what about that B plus C? Binomial. So we're doing a monomial times a binomial. You've done this before. And what we do is we distribute. So we take that A, and what are we going to do with that A? Distribute it. We go pew, pew. All right, so we're going to do A times, what's the first part? B. But we also do A times the second part. So A times C. Alright, that's the distributive property that you are used to. We're going to just do one example with that. That's maybe a little bit more complex. Alright, so one example here. Tyler, what are you doing? It's weird. Alright, we have negative 2 p to the second power times 4p to the third power plus 6p. So when I look at this problem, I need to decide what is the part that I am distributing. Mubarak, run away. Pay attention. Thanks. Yeah, the negative 2p to the second power is what I'm going to distribute. So we're going to take that, we're going to go pew, pew. So we'll do the negative 2p to the second power times, what's the first part? 4p to the third power. But we're going to do it again with that second arrow. So I'm going to take that negative 2p to the second power again times the second part, 6p. If you want to, you can highlight that so you can see that that negative 2p squared we did twice. That's why there's 2 arrows coming from the negative 2p squared. Grace, put your phone away. Alright, I like to write out my multiplication first, then actually do the multiplication. So what is negative 2 times 4? Negative 8. And then if I have p squared and a p to the third power, so I have 2 p's and then 3 more p's. How many p's total is that? 5. So p to the 5th power. Alright, now on the second one, negative 2 times 6, negative 12. Now p squared means I have 2 p's, p times p. What does just p mean? 1. So if I have 2 p's and another p, how many p's total? 3. Now I want to write my answer in standard form with the highest exponent first. What is my largest exponent? The 5. So I want that term to come first. I'm going to say negative 8 p to the 5th power plus, what's my second term going to be? Good, negative 12p to the 3rd power. Because it was a negative, you had the option, you could have done a minus instead of a plus negative. Can I combine these two? Do they have the exact same amount of variables? No. This one has 5 p's, this one only has 3 p's. So that is our final answer for that one. Alright, we're going to do something a little bit new here, so I'm going to do a little star, because this isn't an example, this is a how-to kind of thing. Alright, this time we're going to do a binomial times a binomial, so 2 parts times 2 parts. And this is new, we haven't done this year yet. So in the first binomial, we'll have a plus b. And we're going to multiply that by another binomial, c plus d. Now remember, all those letters just really stand for numbers. We're just calling them placeholders right now. So I have to take this binomial, this c plus d, and I have to multiply it by everything in this binomial, the a plus b. And we do that by distributing, similarly to how we did before. So I'm going to still start with that a. And what do I want to multiply that a by? Do I want to do a times b or a times c? Yeah, why don't I want to do a times b? Yeah, it says we're adding them, so we don't want to just all of a sudden multiply them. So we're going to do a times c. But I don't want to just multiply c. I also want to multiply a times d. Did I multiply everything in the second binomial by everything in the first binomial? No, which part did I not multiply by yet? The b. So now I'm going to take that b, and I'm going to take that b and I'm going to distribute it. So I'm going to go pew, pew. I like to do the arrows on the bottom, otherwise it gets a little crazy. So I'm going to do b times, what's the first part? C. And I'm going to do b times d. So when we multiply polynomials, it's just distributing, but we're going to distribute everything from the first to everything in the second. Bless you. Alright, we have 2 examples with this, and then you have the rest of the time to do your quick check. Should be plenty of time to get that done, which is great. Alright, so number 2. This one we're going to do a binomial times a binomial. And it's very similar to how we just wrote that one out. I'm going to show my work a little bit more vertically because that's generally how it works in Schoology to do it better. So we're going to do 5x plus 1 times the quantity of 3x plus 6. So to start distributing, I'm going to start with my first term in that first binomial. What is my first term in the first binomial? 5x. I'm going to take this 5x, and I'm going to distribute it to which part?
3x.
Good. 3x and 6. I like to write down all my multiplication first before I start finding answers. Some people, they do it as they go. I get lost if I do it that way. So I'm going to do 5x times my first arrow was 3x. And then I'm going to do 5x times my second arrow was 6. Okay, I like to write down all the multiplication problems. What? I can call someone to escort you. Okay, give me 1 second. Alright. Then I have to distribute my second part. So what is my second part? 1. So I'm going to take that 1, and we're going to distribute it to the 3x and to the 6. So we'll do 1 times 3x, and we'll do 1 times 6. And then we can find those answers to those problems. So what is 5 times 3? 15. And I have an x and an x. So how many x's would that end up with? 2. So x squared. Alright, in the second one I'm doing 5 times 6. 30. And how many x's are there? Just that first x with that 5x, so 30x. One times 3x, 3x, and 1 times 6, 6. Now when we write our answer, we want to write our answer in standard form. So our exponent's going least to greatest. So what is our, greatest to least. I went the wrong way there. So what is our biggest exponent?
15.
The x squared, yeah. So 15x squared will come first. Plus, then what? 30x plus 3x plus 6. Did I have any options to do a minus here? No, they were all positive. Alright, but I'm not done yet. Whoa. What's one more thing I can do before I write my final answer? Yeah, what about that 30x and the 3x? Yeah, they're like terms. We can add them. They both have just an x. So for my final answer, it's 15x squared plus, what's 30 plus 3? 33x plus 6. And that's our final answer. Alright, we have one more problem. Number 3. This time we're going to binomial times a trinomial. So we'll start with our binomial, 2w minus 8. And then a trinomial means it's going to be how many parts? 3. So we're going to have 6w squared minus 4w plus 3. So if you want to work ahead on this one, you could.
you go there like that? And come all the way down? Yes. You can just put your head down.
Alright. So here we have 2w minus 8 times 6w squared minus 4w plus 3. What do you notice is different about this problem compared to the other problem we just did? 3 parts, and there's some subtraction and adding, and there's negatives, and there's exponents. Good job, class. You got there. Alright, so we're going to start with that 2w. What are you going to distribute that 2w to? We're going to start with that 6. So that's that first term. If you had your phone away and you were listening, I bet. Alright, then we're going to do 2 times what? What's the next part? Good, negative 4w. And we'll do 2w times 3. We have to do it times all 3 parts. So in my work here, I'm going to do 2w times the first part, 6w squared. 2w times, now this one's really important, we keep that negative with that 4, negative 4w. And then 2w times 3. So this time there are 3 2w's. Why in this one are there 3 2w's versus in the last one we only had 2 5x's? Why are there 3 of the yellows? Because of the trinomial. How many parts are in the trinomial? 3. Good. Alright, what's the second part we'll distribute out? Good, negative 8. So negative 8 will distribute out pew, pew, pew. Now, if you don't like doing your arrows on top and bottom, I'll show you. In my period 3, I accidentally wrote it weird. So in period 3, I had to write all the arrows like this. That's why I'd go some above and some below, because it gets to be a little crazy. But you do you. Alright, so we're going to do negative 8 times, what's the first part? 6w squared. Negative 8 times negative 4w. And then negative 8 times 3. Can you use a calculator in our class? Yes. For sure you can. Alright, when you use a calculator, what actually parts are you going to put it into the calculator here? Just the coefficients, 2 times 6. So what is 2 times 6? 12. And how many w's would we get? Good, w to the third. We have a w and 2 more. Alright, 2w times negative 4w times negative 4. If you're using your phone calculator, you have to be really careful with your negatives. So 2 times negative 4, you have to use this negative up here, would be negative 8. Good, to the second power. 2w times 3. Two times 3 is 6. And how many w's?
1.
Just the w. Negative 8 times 6. Good, but negative times a positive is a negative. So negative 48. Did you say that?
Yeah.
I missed it, sorry. Negative 48 w squared. Negative 8 times negative 4. Positive 32. That one has a w. And then negative 8 times 3. Negative 24. Alright, now for our answer here, we're going to start by writing it in standard form. So which one has my highest exponent? What is the highest exponent? 3. When we say the highest exponent, another word for that is degree. The highest degree is 3. Okay, so we're going to say 12w to the third power plus, do I have any other w to the thirds? Nope, so next would be w squareds. Do we have any w squareds? Okay, what do we have? Negative 8w squared and negative 48w squared. Any w's? A 6w and 32w. And do we have any constants? I'm going to run out of space. A negative 24. So I'm just going to do a minus 24 because I'm out of space. Alright, is that my final answer? Is that as simple as we can make it? No. What else can we do? Combine like terms. Which ones are the like terms? Yep, we have these w squareds. Anything else that's like terms? The w's, the 32w and the 6w. So this 12w to the third was the only one. It can just stay as it is. And then what's negative 8 plus negative 48? Negative 56 w squared. 6 plus 32. 38w. And then we have that minus 24 that you can either write minus 24 or plus negative 24. No, we have less than 8 minutes. Okay, you can get it at the end of the day. You'll be okay. I promise. You won't die in the next 8 minutes from dehydration. You'll be okay.